Welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. I'm Dwayne Kohler, and usually, your husband Terry or your boys and I were out hunting, and we come back, and we always the most popular part of the show was like, what did Chef Lisa cook up this time? So we decided to have a whole show for. Now let me ask it now. So I've had more time available this year than I've ever had before. I've been out hunting. I've lost pounds like crazy because I'm like, I just eating like I normally would eat. And what do you think about that?
I think we need to do a few more shows so we can fatten you up.
Fatten me up some so I can make it through hunting season?
I was just going to say, he needs to make it through hunting season, so we need to put a few pounds on you.
Okay.
All right. So I can do that. That's definitely something we can do in this house.
Well, there's lots of stuff sitting here, so what are you thinking here today, Lisa?
Well, I'm thinking we're going to think about a hunter. And a hunter is hungry in the morning before they go hunting, and they get up really early in the morning. They're going to need food when they're out because they're going to be hungry during the day. A good snack. And then the last thing that they need is they come home and they're starving. So we've got to have a good meal for them. So
your normal diet that you eat every day, when you're outside all day and you're up and down and you're walking and you're maybe dragging a deer and all that kind of stuff, you're burning calories. When you're out in the cold, your body's burning more calories just to stay warm. So we're always talking about healthy and whatever.
Absolutely.
You actually might need twice as many calories a day whenever you've got a big hunting day going on.
You do. And actually, the meal that I'm making, all three things that I'm making have lots of protein in them, and there's some fat and some healthy fats, and some other fats because we got to make them taste good. And two of the three recipes have venison in them, so we're from the field to the table.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think about it too. I have a house full of hunters every, the first day of buck, they're all ready to go. They're here. I plan a week in advance what I'm going to feed them. I make sure I have hearty meals planned and snacks and good breakfasts because, I want to feed my men, and this is just kind of something that I would do first day of buck maybe to have it prepared. And what I'm going to preface that with is all of these can be made ahead of time, which is great because I'm not going to get up at 3 in the morning and cook them breakfast, but I might have some things prepared for them. So that's really where we're coming from today.
So what are the things that you have planned?
Okay, our three things again are the very first thing is a breakfast egg and cheese and sausage biscuit, but it's of course venison sausage.
Yes.
And there's little hash browns in it. So you've got your potato, you've got egg, we're going to have a little milk, cheese, and venison sausage. And those can be made ahead, and we'll talk about that again. And you can freeze them, you can use them all year long. You don't just have to use them for hunting season, but they make a great easy pull out, stick in the microwave, warm up breakfast for your hunters. And then the next thing I have is a granola, sweet and salty granola, which makes a great snack. You can put it in an airtight container and then just take out what you want. Put it in little Ziploc bags and they can take it with them for the hunt. The last thing is one of my very favorites. It's a venison stew, and it's just a classic stew, like a beef stew, but we're using venison. And it's a family favorite. We have it multiple times a year, and it's just like good home cooking comfort food, but it's really delicious. So
as I said a few minutes ago, I've had more time out this year and already was able to harvest one, and so maybe we can talk about that since that's where this venison came from for that particular part.
Absolutely.
And that was so to me to get out early was great because it's like, hey, I like this kind of stuff all year round too.
Right.
And so to get out early and to get one early, which I never did before, that was great. So looking forward to the rest of the season still going, and we're kind of right in the middle of things right now. Everything's hopping, but my wife keeps nagging at me because I literally have lost probably like eight pounds that I don't normally lose. And
sure. Yeah. Well, maybe after taste testing today we can change that.
We'll work on that. Okay. All right. Good.
Okay. So we'll start with our breakfast. Okay. And what we have is I defrosted 4 cups of hash brown potatoes. So you want them thawed. Okay. And they're just in there by themselves. And then I melted about 4 tablespoons of butter. And if you would do the honors, we'll pour them in there. And I have about a half a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And we're just going to mix that in there. And then do the honors, mix them up.
Am I smashing it up?
No, we're just making it, mix it up, get them coated with the butter.
Okay. And so like this hash brown thing, so you can, it's like slivered up just regular slivered
Right,
potatoes?
it's not the diced potatoes. These are the slivered potatoes.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is, while you're doing that, I'm going to spray this muffin tin. I'm going to spray it really well because those hash browns do like to stick. And what we're going to do then, once it's incorporated, the butter and everything, we're going to actually take our hands and we're going to press it into the muffin tin, make sure we cover the bottom, and we're going to make sure that we go around the sides, and we're going to fill each muffin tin.
So this is like the shell, sort of.
It is.
Like a, okay.
Yep, so you do that. I'm going to spray really well. Okay, so we've got it coated.
Is there any magical way to measure out the certain?
No, I know. Really, I was just gonna take some and plop them in there, and it gets a little sticky. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna push it in there and just kind of make a thin crust.
Can I try that?
Yeah, go ahead. And
so that's like right on the bottom. Does it go up the sides?
A little bit up the sides, yeah, and try to make it about the same thickness all the way around so it cooks evenly. Yep. Yeah, it gets sticky. This part does get sticky. So our hands are going to get messy.
Okay.
But that's okay.
I washed my hands before.
Yes, me too. That's important.
And I'm spilling. I'll pick that up.
Yeah, it does get a little, like I said, it gets a little messy, but that's okay. And I did preheat the oven to 350 because we're going to brown these before we put anything else in there. Yep. Good. Thank you. Just try to keep the same thickness everywhere. The first time I made this, I didn't really do that.
It doesn't like to stick on the side.
It doesn't. Well, I sprayed it.
Okay.
That spray works.
You never get it out of the pan if you didn't spray it.
Right. You have to. You have to. So it's a little messy, but you know, if you have little ones at home, they would probably love.
That would be like a fun activity.
Yeah, they would probably like to do this. When my boys were little, I always had them do the messy part because you know boys like to be messy, and they were happy and they helped me get something done. It wasn't always perfect, but that's okay. They were little and I was glad to incorporate them in the kitchen whenever I could because they weren't that crazy about it. They would have rather been outside hunting.
Yes, right. Which they are now.
Which they are now, yeah. Funny how things change. So this
is there any magical amount that I need to
No,
figure out?
I just make sure that they all get it, and if there's extra, then we just put it in one.
Pack them in a little bit.
Yep.
The ones that are skinnier.
Yep, absolutely. Make a great team, Dwayne.
This is kind of fun.
It is. It's not a bad thing.
It's like a construction project. We have that on our Crawford County Outdoors series from time to time.
That's right. And you know, I like these kinds of recipes. You can double them, triple them, fill up a whole bunch of pans, freeze this. You don't just need them for hunting season. You can use this anytime. This is a great breakfast. Okay. You know, my kids they're egg eaters. They love this kind of thing. And you know, you don't have to use just the ingredients. You could do spinach. You can do, you know, you could do other things that you like in your eggs, vegetables. I'm all for that. This one just happens to be the venison sausage and cheese.
A couple of years ago, we had some bear sausage we made on the
That's
show.
right.
We could have used that bear
That's
sausage.
right. That's right. Any kind of sausage will work. You can use regular, you know, and I say that for all of our recipes. You don't have to use pheasant. You don't have to use venison. You can use chicken. You can use beef or pork. It's your preference. These recipes are very versatile in that respect. Is there much left in there?
I think we're just at the
we're good.
Got one here. Any that are a little bit low that need a little bit more?
Over here, I think so. And then I think we're good. We just want to make sure that we get them even, not thick in some spots, because that
wouldn't cook as much.
It doesn't cook the same as evenly, right? Yeah, you can just set that in the sink.
Okay.
So this is about ready to go in our oven, which is preheated again at 350.
And how long do you suppose that'll be?
This is about, you're going to brown them. So 20 to 25 minutes. You know, you just want them till they're brown because you're going to put them back in the oven with the rest of the ingredients in there. So here, Dwayne, let me help you out there.
Thank you.
So we're going to pop this in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until they're starting to brown, and then we'll pull it out and we'll add the rest of the ingredients to it.
Very good.
Okay. Okay, so it's been about 20-25 minutes, and as you can see, our hash browns are starting to brown up a little bit.
A little crispy around the edges. That's what you were going for, right?
That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
You can go a little bit longer if you want them a little crispier, but
Okay.
the ones that I made before were fine when they looked like this. So the next thing we're going to do is make our egg mixture. So we have 8 eggs. So
Are those left-handed eggs, Lisa?
they actually are right-handed eggs. Did you notice that?
Wow,
I'm
I'm noticing
practicing.
that,
I've been
yes.
practicing,
Yeah.
and I'm getting this down pat. See that? I'm almost to the point where with right hand I can do 1. Whoa.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
You can teach an old dog new tricks, huh? How about that? So we're putting our 8 eggs in here. We're gonna add about a half a cup of milk
So there's some math involved. So we had 12 shells,
Yes.
but 8 eggs,
and half a cup of milk.
and half a cup. Wow, okay.
Yes,
All right,
yes,
good.
there's a little math involved. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there. We're gonna add our milk, and we're gonna whisk that together.
Now, any special kind of milk? Is it like low fat or anything like that?
Well, probably most people would use 2%, but I use skim because that's what I drink.
That's what you use, okay.
That's what I'm used to, but I don't really think it matters. Not everybody adds milk to their eggs, but I think it makes them fluffier, so I like them that way. So, that's all mixed really nice. So what we have here is some venison sausage. You need only about a half a pound. So I have a little bit more than that, and I just figured we would eat it.
Okay.
So I didn't worry about that. Okay. And we have about a cup and a half of shredded cheddar. I use sharp because my boys really like that. And what we're gonna do, Dwayne, is we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit.
Before you put the eggs in?
Before I put the eggs in, a little bit before and a little bit after. So sprinkle a little in there. We'll put a little cheese on top of it.
Like
and then
that? Is that about right?
that's fine.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna pour egg over top of that, and then we're gonna do it again.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
So actually, wait, I'll help you do that. Do you want to do the cheese and I'll do the sausage?
Sure. I'm an old cheese man from way back.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I actually have a little bit more sausage than what we need here. But you know, you double your recipe, whatever, you'll be using all of it, so.
Well, you've got some hungry
Boys.
Hungry boys here at your house.
Yeah, they're waiting for this. They are pretty hungry.
I did hear some clamoring around. I think that
I believe they're
the
home.
faster this is ready, the happier
Yes,
that they will be.
I would agree with that. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of egg to fill up that cup a little bit. And then you're going to go right over top with a little more sausage and a little bit more cheese.
Okay. Not a lot, just a little, and we don't want it to overflow, right?
They're gonna puff up.
Okay.
So it's okay if it's going over the top a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to
Sorry.
bump you.
I really like these ones because they're just so easy, and you can make them ahead and have them in a Ziploc in a freezer bag, you know, in the freezer, and pull them out when you want them.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I think I overdid a couple of them. Okay. I'm going to use a spoon, Dwayne, and I'm just going to take a little bit out. I had to do this before because I didn't eyeball it enough. And we'll just make them a little even.
That was Terry's that got a little bit too much.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just don't want it going outside,
right.
overflowing too much. I'm gonna grab this, excuse me. Just do a little more on top. Again, add spinach, add whatever you want, you know, whatever you like in your eggs. And you can serve these by themselves with your hot sauce. Some people like to put salsa on them when they're done, you know, whatever. You can have whatever condiment you want. So these are gonna go back in the oven. It's still 350, and they're gonna be in there for about 20-25 minutes until they look like they're done. They're gonna puff up a little bit and they're gonna be delicious.
Wow.
Okay?
Don't want to lose any.
No, don't lose anything there. There we go.
So Lisa, sometimes when I get together with a group of guys that I go hunting with, usually deer hunting like one day a year, and I'll like bring some pheasant or some venison chili if I can find one pack of ground venison didn't get used up last year or whatever, you know. But that's like one day out of, you know, maybe a dozen days that I go hunting over the year, and so that doesn't always like work out, you know, that everybody get together. And there's kind of a family farm in the middle of all this. We get together. All the rest of the days, what do I do?
I know. What do you do? Well, in between when the venison's gone, is that your question?
Well, it's like, okay, well, everybody's not, it's just me. I'm up in the tree stand all day, you know? So,
yeah, well, you need to take a snack.
Okay.
You need to have a snack, okay? Because, yeah, you might take a thermos full of chili and it's just you sitting up there. And you need a little something. You need some sustenance to keep you going, and maybe it's not mealtime, you just need a snack. And a healthy granola, especially a homemade one, because you know what's going in it, is the perfect thing that you can make, and it's not difficult at all. So what we're doing today is I have a cup and a half of old-fashioned rolled oats in this bowl right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix this mixture with it. And what this is you pick any kind of nut butter that you want. And I chose almond butter because I like almonds and they're healthy. And so I chose almond butter, and you use a half a cup of almond butter and a half a cup of honey. You can use raw honey, you know, the organic, whatever you want, whatever flavor of honey you like. And then I heat it so it's soft and easy to mix, and we just mix them up together. I'm going to have you do that. Okay, so it's a half a cup of each, the nut butter and the honey. I'm going to have you mix it and get it really incorporated in there. And while you're doing that, again, I'm going to spray the pan, because then we're going to spread it on this pan. And our oven is heated to 350. So once we're done, then we'll talk about how long it needs to go in there for.
Now you can add other stuff that you like. Maybe
you can, but that's the second half. We need to cook. We need to cook to cook the oats first. So.
All right.
Okay, so you want to do that, and I will get our spray here.
Maybe I'll do this in stages, huh?
Yep. I love these recipes because, as I said earlier, we can do these ahead of time. No one wants to get up at 3 in the morning with the hunters. That's not my thing. I like to have it ready so that they can get it out of the fridge and be ready. So, and have it on their own.
And you kind of want to take off whenever you're, you don't want to be monkeying around and making yourself late. You want to be up there or way before daylight, way before that.
Right, in your stand, ready to go. There are a lot of different butters out there too. You can use the cashew butter.
I smell that almond.
Yeah,
in there.
I really like the almond butter. You could use peanut butter, but I wanted to use the almond this time. And my kids seem to really like this recipe, so I'm sticking with it. This bowl likes to move. I see you're using a right-handed utensil today.
I see that this left-handed thing there, if I turn it around, that'll work better. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering why that wasn't working right. Okay. So is there like a magic, what it looks like?
I think it looks
supposed
good.
To be blended?
I think it looks great.
Okay.
So we're going to try to put it on here as evenly as possible. It's not always easy because it's going to want to slide, but we'll do the best that we can. So if you want to scoop that out, and then we'll
kind of smush it around a little bit?
Yep.
Okay.
Great job, Dwayne.
It all came out really well. Interesting. It didn't leave a lot of residue, did it?
No, it didn't. It really is sticking to the oats. Yeah, you would think there'd be a lot in there, but it's...
Now, speaking of oats,
Yes.
at my property, I planted a food plot this year, and it was oats. And the deer, they hammered for whatever. They must like oats, I guess. I don't know. So
they do.
Hopefully in rifle season, we'll
be able to
get a
bring
chance
them there.
to get those oats to pay some dividends.
There you go. Now, this doesn't seem like a lot. I know the first time that I made this, I thought, well, it doesn't seem like a lot of... But when you add other things to it, and when you break this up, it really does make a nice container full. Just like I said, I just want to spread it out to make it about the same thickness all around.
Okay.
So it cooks evenly. And fortunately, this is really coming out nice and easy to work with. I think this is probably, the one time I made this, I was using a wooden spoon and it was sticking to it. So I think this is probably a better utensil to use.
And of course it's left-handed.
Of course it's left-handed. Nothing but the best for this house.
The good part about that one is you could just turn it over and use it right-handed.
And you could pretend, yes, that you're right-handed for a day. Okay, so I think we're ready, and we'll stick this in the oven, and as I stated before, it's 350. We're gonna put it in there for roughly about 20 minutes. Halfway through, we do need to go in and kind of mix it up because we want to
break it up and
break it up.
Over
you flip it over just so it cooks evenly, and then after about 20 minutes, we'll take it out. We'll set it aside and let it cool for a few minutes, and we'll add a whole bunch of other good things. So this is going to go in 350 for about 20 minutes. Halfway through, we're going to stir it. I'll give you this. Okay, so we have pulled our granola out.
That looks awesome.
It does. And what we're gonna do is we've let it cool for a couple minutes. So we're gonna break it up and then we're gonna put it in this bowl so we can mix our other ingredients in there.
Left-handed spatula?
Perfect.
But I'm gonna use it right-handedly if that's okay.
Just be careful it doesn't start flying everywhere because I've had that happen too.
So if it was still like really hot, if you put some things in, it would just melt it all together or would it be mushy? Is that
it
right?
would. I mean, you can, we're using dark chocolate. So, I guess if you wanted to put in some and have it melt throughout, you could, and then let it continue to cool. But I would say let it cool as much as you can and then just mix everything with it. I'm not into having stuff melt with it. I just think it's
like it all coming loose pretty well.
Yeah, it is. It's nice and crispy, and that's what you want. And then, once we get it in the bowl, we can break it up a little bit more. You can you can even, take your hands and break it up. Because we washed them, so we're good.
Been a lot of hand washing with this episode, hasn't it?
Yeah, there is. You just have to do that. Because you don't want them too big, you want them bite size.
Now this isn't like crispy, this is kind of like...
The longer it cools, the crispier it will get.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And remember, we did add honey to it.
Okay.
But it does. It's the longer it sits, it's still a tiny bit warm. Okay, you want to get that in there, Dwayne?
Okay.
You need to...
And I'm trying not to spill. That's hard for me.
It's okay.
Because I have to eat everything that I spill.
Well, you do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the other ingredients, pick salty and sweet. Again, woo! I think that one's in my hair.
Okay.
Pick things that you like that are sweet and things that you like that are salty. And my family is a fan of dark chocolate, and it is healthier. So we're going to add about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup, depending on how much you want, dark chocolate. I have banana chips, about the same amount, a half cup to 3/4 of a cup. And that's more of our sweet. And so I picked just a salty mixed nuts, and we're adding that same amount. And I happen to have some pumpkin seeds, which are very, very healthy. They have a lot of really healthy properties. So, you know, we've got the almonds in there, we've got the almond butter, we've got a little fat, we've got the sweetness. We need a little salt, and it's still healthy. I mean, I really think that this is a healthy snack. And, you know, just really mix it up. Mix it up well. You know, if you need to break up a little bit of that granola some more. And this makes a great snack. You want
Now, if you're going to take some of that with you on your hunt,
right?
Maybe like a Ziploc sandwich bag, maybe?
I think that'd be perfect. If you're going to store it, you're going to store it in an airtight container.
Airtight, okay.
And then take out what you want. You're going to want to put them in a Ziploc container. Take as much as you want, and that's a great snack to take. It's going to keep you going. It's got some protein in it. It's
now that looks like that's got to be 8 or 10 servings or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like a lot, yeah.
It's definitely a lot. Share with your friends if they happen to stop over to your tree stand. You know, if your chili's gone and you don't have any of that left, so they'll be happy that you did, because it's homemade. I mean, you can go out and buy trail mix. There's just, for me, I'm feeding my family and my friends as they come over. I like to make it homemade, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a great recipe, great snack. Okay, I'm ready for our dinner recipe.
Yay.
The hungry hunter comes home. This can be cooking the whole time. Come home and it's ready to go.
Can I tell you a story?
Please do.
So the area where I hunt, there's just a patch of oak trees. And so early in the archery season, the acorns it's like rain. You can hear them coming down. So I set up shop near the oak trees. And I had gone there several days and had seen some, but none had come close enough. And so here I'm walking into the stand, and there's 2 deer. And it's like, oh, okay. So I had this moment of truth issue.
Right.
So, all right, now do I try and sneak in there, or do I just go home, because this isn't going to work out?
Right.
So I waited till both their heads went down picking up acorns, and I stuck to the next tree. And then they looked around, and I waited till their heads went down, and I went to the next
Timing.
tree. And just the way it worked out, my ladder part was on the opposite side of the tree from where they were. So I was able to get up there. I don't think it was even 2 minutes. I turned on the camera, and they came by, and yeah. So,
oh wow, timing! It's all about timing.
It was like it just was meant to be, I guess.
Right. I can almost see that as a cartoon. You run a few little steps.
That's exactly what it was.
And they put their heads down and eat. You run a few more little steps. I mean, I can picture that.
And now it can contribute to our dinner
That's
here
right,
tonight.
because this is a venison stew. And again, you can use beef. There's no reason why you can't. But we're using venison today from Dwayne's Deer, which is awesome. This is an easy recipe. This is you make it ahead, throw it together the night before if you want, or throw it together and just let it cook all day, because that's what it does. And 5 hours or more, and you're only cooking it at 250. So it's a low and slow, and it's really a very, very good recipe. My family's favorite. So what we're going to do is I've chopped everything up. It's about 2 cups each of potatoes, and I just leave the skins on. I wash them, cut them up. Why make it difficult? About 4 cut up onions, or you could do about 2 cups.
Okay.
About 2 cups of carrots and 2 cups of celery, and really all we're going to do is dump them in the pan.
That's the hard part,
That's really hard, yeah.
And
The hard part's
all around
yeah.
there.
Well, we're going to mix it up. So,
all right.
So we'll go then with the celery, and then we have our carrots.
Nice bowls, by the way, Lisa.
Thank you. I love those bowls.
Yeah.
Gift from my Uncle Paul.
Oh, awesome.
For the show, actually, but we use them for more than that. So, and then you're going to use stew meat, or you're going to use cut up your deer, and you need about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. Okay. And you want to do the honors?
And that was from a hind leg roast, and I cut it up into little pieces for you.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful. I'm looking forward to having that in my freezer again. Okay, so Dwayne, it is that time again.
Oh, my favorite.
I know.
And look, a pink camo.
I know. Kind of matches just a little bit.
Yes.
So this is a can of, I'll move it over here for you, of whole tomatoes. And sometimes I stick the knife in there and I cut them up a little bit, and then you're just going to dump it in the pan. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take one piece of white bread and I'm just going to break it into little pieces. Whoops. And I'm just going to pop that in the pan as well. Just little tiny pieces. One piece. That's all you need.
Look at that. First time I didn't cut myself.
Impressive. Impressive.
So now these are intact. Do they need to be like broken up at all?
Well, I would take that knife and I would just kind of stick it in there a little bit if you can and just kind of cut them a little. It doesn't have to really be too much. I've used diced tomatoes when I didn't have a can of whole, and it's fine. And you don't drain anything, you just dump it all in there. It doesn't really matter. But I kind of break them up just a little bit. Yep, and then you can just pour that in. Perfect.
Looks like I got a couple I missed.
Yeah, you could actually you can do that now.
Okay.
While I'm finishing up that bread.
Again, wash my hands.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
And I'm going to add another ingredient. It's a half a cup of red wine.
Oh.
Now you can use whatever kind of wine you like. You could use cooking sherry as well. I tend to drink dry wines, dry reds, so I don't typically cook with them. I would cook with a sweeter wine, and so you can get these really cute little container bottles of wine, and I save them and I use them for cooking whenever it calls wine. And so I'm just going to dump a half a cup in there. Okay, and our spices.
Tomato stayed in the
Oh,
pan.
get that out. You got to get that out.
Come on, come out of there.
Whoa.
Okay.
We don't need a can in there.
We don't need the can, just need the tomato. There it is. Okay.
So our next ingredient is 3 tablespoons of quick cooking tapioca, and that's going to thicken it up. So you put that in there. I have 1 tablespoon of sugar, so it's going to give it a little sweetness. Okay. We have about a teaspoon of salt and about a half a teaspoon of pepper. And then I have 1 teaspoon of tarragon and 1 teaspoon of dried basil. And the dried basil is right from my garden, which I love.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So there's some really good spices going in here. And Dwayne, we just need to get we had a big spoon here somewhere. We can grab whatever we have back there. Oh, there, it's in front of me. There you go.
Mix it all around.
Carefully mix it up.
Okay.
We have the oven set for 250, and we're gonna put it in there. Sometimes I let it start without aluminum foil, but then I'll add aluminum foil in a little bit because I don't want it to dry out. I just get it started that way. So for the bulk of the time, it's gonna cook for 5 hours or longer at 250. I start it without aluminum foil, and then I'm gonna add that about an hour into it, and then it'll stay on top and it'll keep it moist inside.
Low and slow.
Low and slow, that's the way we do it. So once that's mixed up really well, we'll stick that in the oven.
Looks like all the spices are sticking on everything there.
Yeah, looks good. You're gonna like this one. This is a really good one. It's a keeper for sure. I wish our viewers could smell that because
even now.
I know
nothing's cooked yet. It's
tarragon and basil fresh. Just
beautiful.
Okay, we're gonna stick that in the oven. It's gonna cook for about 5 hours or longer. If you're in the woods a little bit longer than that, that's okay. It's not gonna get hurt as long as you do eventually cover it with aluminum foil. So we'll get that in there and get it started.
Maybe I understand, Lisa, why everybody thinks this is the best part of the show, because it's my favorite part of the show too.
I have to admit, it is mine as well.
Yeah. What do we got?
Well, we have our breakfast for our hunter, which would be our egg and sausage, cheese, little muffin, which I will start to, get ready for all of us.
Yeah.
And we have our granola for a snack. And wait till you see this.
Ooh.
Look at that stew.
Wow.
It is a wonderful recipe. So I'm going to make.
Thank you to the deer for its contribution.
And thank you, Dwayne, for the contribution of the deer. So we'll give everybody a little bit here. And wait, don't eat yet because I'm going to give you also some stew. Everybody will get some. We had trouble keeping their hands out of this granola when the camera was off. Uh-oh. Okay, and then, now everybody, as I say every time, it's hot, be careful. Okay, And you can always have more. Thank you. There you go. That steam, oh, that smell, it's wonderful. Put mine right here. And Dwayne.
So do you have a particular suggestion on what's the best order to try these?
Well, we could do breakfast.
Breakfast first. Okay,
Breakfast first?
Okay.
Okay. So let's try our eggs and see how we did.
So whose deer was it that was in the venison sausage, Lisa? Was that Landon's?
It might have been.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I like the sausage. That's really good. Okay. Shall we move on to granola?
Oh, yeah.
Because we can always come back.
Landon, good job on the sausage. All right.
That's really good too. I love the bananas.
Chocolate chips.
Yeah, I know. We all have our favorites. That's really good too.
Great protein there from the nuts.
Absolutely. Dark chocolate. So you're out, you get up, you have your breakfast. You can have these already made. Have them in a freezer. You can pull them out, stick them in the microwave for a minute or two. Have your bag of granola ready to go. Then you pop this in the oven and leave. Then you come home, pull it out, and you have stew ready to go. How'd I do?
Good. Very good.
Lisa, that is wonderful.
Thank you. That's probably one of my favorite stew recipes.
You know, I'm thinking maybe we need to do this more often, Lisa. This the whole way, all day for taking care of us hunters.
There you go.
Very good.
I like to do that.
Well, Landon and Gavin, excellent job on sampling. You guys did a good job.
Thank you.
Landon, good job on providing the sausage the last time around.
Yeah.
Lisa, excellent.
Thank
Loved
you.
it.
Thank you. And thanks for bringing some more deer over for us.
You bet. And the folks at home, we thank you for joining us on Crawford County Outdoors. We'll talk to you next time.